Welcome to the Growing Your Business podcast, a program created to answer the question, what's in it for me, for both the business and their customers. Today's guest had this to say.
None of us are promised tomorrow. The saddest thing to me, and it happens all the time, this happens to someone they did not plan because they thought they had plenty of time, and then their family's left with a GoFundMe page. The greatest gift you can give your family, at least sit down and talk to an attorney. Use someone that knows what they're doing.
Right.
So that your family is protected. And that way you'll have peace of mind, and it's the greatest gift you can give your family.
Now, stay tuned as we hear more on their values, mission, and why they continue to grow their business. So joining me today on the Growing Your Business podcast is Sheila Williamson with Haiman Hogue. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, and thank you for having me.
Glad to have you here. So tell me about the value proposition for the clients of Haiman Hogue.
Well, Haiman Hogue is a faith-based estate planning and elder law firm.
Perfect.
And what that means is that we focus on 5 main areas. We do wills, trust, guardianship, probate, and business planning, LLCs, stuff like that.
Okay. Well, let's start at the top with wills.
Okay. Wills and trust. Everybody knows that everyone has to have a will. You hear this all the time. You got to have a will. You got to have a will. Well, if you don't, the state of Texas has one for you. You just probably won't like it very much.
They just get everything.
So the problem is with that, there's a lot of problems that come with that if you don't plan. Okay, and that's what estate planning is. Estate planning is basically planning for your family to not have to deal with a mess after you're gone. It's not just giving away your stuff. It's your wishes, your legacy, your everything about you. Maybe your past, maybe your history. My boss, his dad was basically he was a spy.
Oh, wow.
In Vietnam. Okay. Well, so much of that is unknown to them because he could not disclose any of this.
Right.
Okay. So people that have anything like that is fabulous in your history that you want to pass that along to the next generation.
Sure. And you mentioned, so the next in the list is?
It's probate.
Probate,
unfortunately, when someone has passed away, if they have a will rather than a trust, more often than not, it has to be probated. Okay. And in the state of Texas, that means hiring an attorney. You are not able to do this on your own. You have to hire an attorney, and you go through a public court procedure.
How about that?
Yes, this is not something you want to do.
No. And so, and is that something in your will that you set up, you choose to do that? I mean, what makes that happen?
Well, now I'm not an attorney here.
Right. Yeah, we're just two people talking. Yeah.
I'm not an attorney, but what happens is that, unfortunately, the way the law reads, if all you have is a will or you have nothing, then you have to go in front of a judge, and you have to have a public inventory of all the assets that you have. And if you have nothing, they also have to do an heirship proceeding, which searches for heirs anywhere for you.
Oh, goodness.
They don't take anyone's word for this. It
Right.
has to be, it has to be that. So there's so many reasons to plan ahead to save your family from so much heartache and cost, quite frankly, that is associated with all of these things. So, which is where a trust can come in handy. A living trust can come in so handy.
Talk to me about a living trust. Like, what does that mean?
Well, a living trust was originally, and people seem to think it's only for the wealthy. This is not true. Right. I have a living trust. Yeah. So anytime you own real estate or you own a business or anything like this, a trust is probably for you.
Interesting.
And so, and the thing about it is, buddy, this is not something that you and I, or if you're not schooled in this area, know anything about until it comes upon the time where you need it.
Until you have to know about it. Yeah.
And then, or maybe in your past, your loved one has passed with only a will, and then another one has passed with a trust, and you've seen the difference, and you're like, oh, no, I want this.
Yeah.
Because this is not a public procedure. No one knows about what you have or what you don't have. There's no public inventory. There's no any of this. It's all privatized, and you don't have to go to court. So that's so much easier on your family and on quite frankly, everything associated with you. So, but anyway, so that is where, and it was invented by the Romans so many years ago.
Oh.
Now, originally it was meant for wealthy people, but now people are taking advantage of it for tax purposes, for all kinds of purposes,
Right.
but mainly to help your family out.
What was the fourth one on the list? And I'm going to ask you.
The next one is probate, and the probate, unfortunately, is when someone passes away with just a will or without a will. You do have to go through the court proceeding, and you do have to hire an attorney. The fourth one is the worst part. That is guardianship.
Oh, goodness.
Guardianship in Texas has little or nothing to do with a child. It has to do with an adult that has become incapacitated.
Oh.
Now, this can be through a horrible accident, maybe a TBI, well, it could be for a lot of reasons. That could happen like that. Even COVID. COVID, when people were left on ventilators, they were incapacitated.
And what is TBI?
A traumatic brain injury.
Oh, yeah.
Which can happen for a horrible accident.
Yep. Makes sense.
Or then it can happen if you, unfortunately, you have dementia. Your loved one suffers from dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, all kinds of things.
Yeah, that's rough.
And so it allows for someone to take care of you, either just of you physically, the guardianship of the person, or then to pay your bills, to manage your money, which is guardianship of the estate. And this is the most expensive thing and most time-consuming thing that we do.
Yeah. And
it is a very sad. And the one thing I want listeners to hear as to what it is. When you go to court with this, and in some cases there is no other alternative. Yeah. And believe me, we try and find any other alternative. A trust can also help you out with this to avoid this. But if there's no other alternative, then guardianship is the only thing. The lawyer will prepare you that what you are doing is declaring your loved one totally mentally incompetent in front of a judge, in front of doctors, in front of witnesses, whoever else is in that courtroom.
Yes.
And it's a horrific scene that no one wants to be a part of.
No. There can be no joy taken in that.
No.
But it's necessary.
Sometimes there is just no other option.
Yeah.
Yes.
Goodness. And the fifth one is helping businesses.
Business planning.
Yeah.
It's business planning, and by that you don't have to have a business startup. Maybe you're a real estate investor. Okay, buddy. This is again anybody that is listening that even has one rental property. You are at tremendous risk if you do not put that property in, or you can be, in an LLC or something to protect you. Okay. Unfortunately, and the reason that my firm is so good at this, probably because one of the founding partners, when he was in law school, apparently when you go through law school, you clerk at different law firms. Yeah. And he clerked at a personal injury firm for years. So you see, he saw the other side of this, and he sees exactly how they operate. Well, and that's just smart business.
Yeah.
Well, he knows what they will go after, so he knows how to protect that.
Yep, protect
so
the
now
assets.
On this side of the things, he can show you exactly how to protect what you have.
Yeah.
And if you are a business owner, if you have rental properties, if you have anything like that, it's just smart business to do that. And then, of course, there's business planning, tax planning, key man planning, all of these different buy-sell agreements. There's all of these different things that come into owning a business as well.
So that fifth one actually has it's an umbrella that covers a lot of different business entities and possibilities.
Yes.
Interesting. Mix and Max. Why do you do what you do?
I do what I do because I love to help people.
That's great.
And this firm, when I came to them 8 years ago, I had been in marketing for some time. And by the way, my job, for the listeners that do not know me, my job is twofold. My job is to set up speaking engagements and webinars that we are strictly educational. Okay. Because education is our primary core value at our firm, and that's something that's very important to me. But regardless whether you wind up doing business with us or not, at least you are educated as to what you should do.
Yes.
Okay, that's part of the business, and then the rest of the business is getting them out in the community and being a good community partner. When this was kind of explained to me in a way, and I could see the possibilities of this job, even though I knew nothing about a law firm. I knew nothing about how they operated, and I still, quite frankly, because I'm not an attorney,
Sure.
there's a lot that I don't know still, but I do know how one operates when they strive to help each other. We are different because we're faith-based, and by that I mean we're different in three ways. We offer free consultation for anyone, and that is with an attorney, not with me, because and that needs to be made clear. I cannot help you.
Right,
I can set you up with an appointment, but that's it. I cannot help you. B, if, say, in the consultation it comes up that you need something that we don't do, most attorneys, quite frankly, would just say, well, I'm sorry, buddy, I can only help you with this, and then just look at you. And you're like, well, yeah, but what about this and this and this?
Right.
And
I'm stuck. Yeah.
Well, that's not what we do. We then refer you to trusted partners that can help you with all those other things.
Terrific.
And then lastly, we are not transactional. Most law firms that do what we do are transactional. When they hand you your will or trust or whatever it is, you're no longer their client. We're not like that. We are like a family operation.
Yeah.
So we offer you educational opportunities. It doesn't mean that you want to take advantage of them, but also you can and give them to somebody else, or we just keep up with you.
Yeah.
Different when the laws change, the tax laws change, there are going to be some big changes this year. We keep our clients updated like that so that they can feel more empowered to deal with their situation or help other people they know.
And by faith-based, what I'm hearing is your intent is to do good. Just do good because doing good is the right thing.
It is because of our faith. It has nothing to do with the faith of the potential client. Right. No, it has to do with our faith. And we believe in treating people the right way and doing the right thing.
Stay with us. The Growing Your Business podcast will return right after this. The Growing Your Business podcast is sponsored in part by Visual Learning Solutions. Stands out with its expertise in crafting immersive audio and video experiences. Their creative team has over 30 years of experience delivering dynamic internal training programs tailored to various industries. They ensure the audience receives a compelling message, promotes brand awareness, and increases return on investment. They also excel in producing marketing content. Learn more at their website, visuallearningsolutions.com. Please check our show notes for sponsorship links and additional details. Now, back to the Growing Your Business podcast with Buddy Broyles. Tell me about a client journey.
Okay.
Obviously,
That's a good question.
You'd mentioned, they start with some type of consultation. Mm-hmm. They're coming to you with their problem. Mm-hmm. And they meet with you first, or someone
no,
on. Yeah, okay.
An attorney. First,
that's right.
Yes.
So
they may call me and tell me all of this.
But but you know who to turn them to.
True, because different attorneys are part of a different team.
Of the five things you mentioned.
A probate team, a trust administration team, a trust team, a business team. There's different attorneys that feature different, not necessarily specialties, but they focus more on this.
But let's pick one of the five. So I'm this person.
Mainly will or trust.
Okay.
You come in just for a basic estate planning. Generally, is who calls. They realize that they don't have a plan in place. They don't know what they need.
Right.
Their brother-in-law has told them that they need a trust, and they've heard something about this. They don't know what it is, or another person has said, don't listen to them. All you need is a will, whatever. Right. So you call in and you say, I understand you have a free consultation with the attorney. Yes, we do. Okay, so you come in for the free consultation, or you do not have to do it in person. That's another good thing about it. We do have 4 offices, but you can be on the phone, you can be on Zoom, Teams, anything that you are more comfortable
Virtual.
with to make it easier for you.
Terrific.
Or there could be a second scenario in that you did some planning a long time ago, but you're not sure. Maybe your situation is it probably has changed if it's been a long time, but you need to have it looked at. Okay, in that case, you would need to come in probably because you'd need to have them physically see it. They don't charge for that either. But still, at least you need to do that. Okay, that's step number 1. That can last between 30 minutes and an hour, depending on the situation. It can go longer. If you're a business client, that could go longer, but probably not in this case. Okay, then they would, if they would tell you, okay, buddy, it looks to me like, from what you've told me and from what I'm looking at, that your best option would be this, this, and this. Now, and then they would tell you, we're also flat fee. I didn't mention this, but we're also flat fee. So they would tell you exactly how much that would be. And you'd say, well, is there another option? Well, yes, buddy, you could do this and this and this.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a little more money, but here's why it would be, blah, blah, blah. And do you need to think about this? And they do not expect a yes or no answer, believe me.
Yeah.
They expect you to want to think about this.
Sure.
Okay. So they give you some paperwork to so you can see this in writing. Okay. And then you think about it and you say, okay, I want to move forward with B. Okay, fine. All right. Then let's set you up an appointment for a design. And you may say, what do you mean by that?
Yep. First question.
Well, you see, our stuff is all customized. It's not cookie cutter.
Right.
So then you're going to meet with probably a different attorney who is going to take you. Now, this can be an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on your situation.
Sure.
Well, and if you're a business client, it could be longer than that, or if you own businesses. But generally speaking, you're going to go through what all you have and your children, or heirs, or whoever that you want to include. We had one not too long ago that left it to 18 charities. It could be rather than people, Buddy, are choosing to do this now because their children are set and they feel like they don't need this, or maybe the children have told them they don't, whatever,
Sure.
or maybe they don't have any children.
Whatever reasons may be.
Yeah. And they choose to do this. Okay, that's great. Mm-hmm. The drafting team doesn't like that because it's a tremendous amount of work for them.
Sure.
But they have to contact each one of the,
Yep.
and so, but regardless, it can be anything like that.
Yeah.
And they go through this design. And you then when all of the work is drafted and it's sent to you to review, to make sure there's no errors, or maybe you've changed your mind. I think I said I wanted my son over here to be my medical power of attorney. The more I thought about it, I'd rather have my daughter. Okay, no problem. We're going to change
This is
that
the time
before
to do
we
it.
yes, do that. And the head of the drafting team usually contacts you to do this.
Terrific.
And you say, "Can I do that?" Quite frankly, you may want to leave someone out.
Mm-hmm. It happens.
Of a will or trust. You can
Yeah.
do it either way.
Yep.
If you leave someone out of a will, you're opening yourself up for a family fight. I will tell you that. But if you leave someone out of a trust, they can try it, but good luck with that.
Right.
So, but anyway, I'm just saying that you can, for whatever reason, you can do that. Anything like this, that happens during the design. And then a couple of weeks later, generally, depending now.
Sure. Lots of variables.
Yes, because it depends on the complexity of the
Sure.
situation. But then they will call you in for a signing. Now, this has to be in person.
Mm-hmm. Signatures.
Well, because I want people to understand this. Real estate now, some realtors are offering DocuSign where you can do, and the law does not allow us to do that. Mm-hmm. So either now, if the person is incapacitated, like, and I don't mean mentally, but I mean physically, where they cannot come to the office or
It's
whatever,
major
they will
hardship.
come to them.
Yeah.
Yes, they will come to them.
That makes sense.
But otherwise, they come to the office. The signing takes about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how complex it is, and making certain there's no errors in this.
Right.
Okay. Although we allow you, when you get it home, we do allow you, there are several weeks, or I think it's 6 months, that you have plenty of time to do that. But we'd rather get it right the first time.
Right.
Okay. And then when you sign, no matter what plan you go with, there's 8 documents that go with this: power of attorney, medical power of attorney, advance directive, HIPAA, a disposition of remains, all of these different things.
Wow.
Can
so
we help you
complicated.
choose who to? No, because we do not know you. Even though you've told us, you don't tell us everything. We don't know your relationship with these kids or with your whomever.
Yep.
We don't know this. So because I had this call yesterday. Sheila, can you help me? I don't know who to choose from. No, I cannot help you with this.
Straight answer is no.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
That's 100% on you.
We can do,
Yeah.
So
Everything
anyway,
after the decision we can help you with.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so this is how this works. And then you get, if it's a trust, the binder is about this tall. quite frankly.
I'm seeing, by my measurement, that's about 4 inches. That's a thick binder.
It's 200 to 300 pages on a standard trust that we would have.
How about that? Yeah.
Now, of course, if you have, the more you add to that, it's going to be even thicker.
Big family, multiple businesses.
That's right. And so it's funny because when you talk about this, people say, well, I have a power of attorney. I think that's good enough. I don't need all of this other. Okay. And where did you get your power of attorney? Oh, I just pulled it off the internet, or I went to Office Depot, or I went. Yeah. Okay. That's going to be probably 1, maybe up to 3 pages long. Ours are 10 to 15 pages. Mm-hmm. And the reason they are is because financial institutions have the power to deny those.
Oh, wow.
When you need those the most, you need to know that it's going to work.
Yep.
And if it's not good, if it is, one size does not fit all. It does not. So when you see all of these ads on TV for $199 of this or this or that or the other, and I want you to keep this in mind, because what is going to happen more than likely, if you have anything that could come up, your family is going to have to spend money to fix that.
Quite a bit, I imagine.
And the lawyers, I don't mean to say they laugh, because when they see this, because people will say, oh, I have a trust. But you said you'd look at it for free. And they're like, yes. And they bring it in, and it's 30 pages long. And the attorney's like, I really don't need to see that. And you're like, well, yes, you said that. And they said, no, I don't need to see this because this is not what you need.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Yeah, they're so skilled in what they do. They can tell just by looking at it. Usually.
They're all 20 years experience or better.
Yeah, that's terrific.
So,
well, tell me. You had mentioned, we all like stories. Mm-hmm. You had mentioned someone earlier. Like, walk me through someone who thought, like what we just talked about. They thought they had it, mm-hmm. and ideally, you saved them time, money, mm-hmm. heartbreak, heartache, mm-hmm. sleep.
Okay, I'm going to give you a scenario of someone that I know very well. And they had, like I said, in their family, they had 2 different scenarios.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So the one side of the family, the person, the patriarch of the family was an insurance person. So he was a planner. Okay, so he knew he had a trust set up for his family for, 20 years.
Yeah.
He knew exactly how this worked. And I'm sure over the years had it modified with his lawyer, et cetera, et cetera. And so his family came out, and this is a good friend of mine, his family came out smelling like a rose. No problem at all. Conversely, the other side of the family, same family, but the other side. That now, to be honest, that the wife passed at 65, which is fairly early, definitely, and it was from cancer, and it was sudden. So you might think, well, maybe they didn't have enough time, even though I hope you're understanding this. We could all pass today. I mean, It's not like, you have a time frame.
Your time's your time,
don't know. Yeah. But, so that you might could understand. They had nothing in place, and it was a mess right there, and they had 6 kids, so it was a total mess.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then the dad lives another 20 years, still does no planning.
Oh, goodness.
So that when he passes, now 2 of the children have also passed. And there is a huge mess that has to happen. Broke the family apart. The family doesn't speak to one another anymore. All of this could have been avoided had they done like this side did.
Yep.
But you see, unless you see this or have gone through it yourself, there's fighting over here over little things. See, the family fights do not have to be, generally it's going to be over money, but it doesn't have to be. It can certainly be over real estate, but it can be over something as small as a gift that was given that someone says, no, they promised me that.
Right.
It was never put in writing.
Be just a vase.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
And it's quite frankly usually the sister-in-laws that are the problem. Yeah. It's not the sons usually that are the problem. It's the sister-in-laws. But I mean, it can be anything like that.
Yeah, and just tears families apart.
And I have a funny story. So I get to witness sometimes. I can't do anything legal, but I can be a legal witness. Lady in there one time, and she as they were preparing something, they had to leave the room to do something, and there's a bunch of blank pages in our trust. They're lined, but they're blank. And she said, "What are these for?" And I said, "Well, this is any special notes that you want to leave to anyone. Say that you have collections and you want to leave this daughter this or this son this particular, and you might write a note as to why this and that and the other." She said, "Oh, I can do that." I said, "Believe me, the more you can do that, the less trouble there's going to be later."
Yep. This is your handwriting.
So the man rolled his eyes when I said this. I had no idea. The woman she started mentioning all the collections she had. So I said, "Ma'am, let me make you some copies of this." So I printed out some pages. She left with 30 pages of that. So she could do all of these collections.
Wow.
See, so you can do anything like this.
Yeah.
And that way, I mean, the man might have thought that was ridiculous. I'm not going to argue this. But I will tell you, when she passes, this is going to be so simple. It's all in writing, and it's all notarized, witnessed, everything.
Yeah, and it's her intention is
right.
captured. Yeah.
That's right. So no one
ambiguity.
can say, "Oh, nope, this is what it says."
Mm-hmm. It's in writing.
That's right.
As they say. Well, that's terrific. Any parting thoughts before we close the show?
Well, I just want to tell all the listeners that none of us are promised tomorrow. The saddest thing to me, and it happens all the time, is that this happens to someone they did not plan because they thought they had plenty of time, and then their family's left with a GoFundMe page.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah.
We see this over and over and over. All of us. I got another one today from someone, and they were in their late 40s, and it was an accident, but it doesn't matter. This is all of us.
Yeah.
All of us. The greatest gift you can give your family, at least sit down and talk to an attorney who focuses on estate planning, not one that does divorce and could probably do you a will on the side. No. Use someone that knows what they're doing.
Right.
So that your family is protected. It doesn't have to be expensive, and it doesn't have to be like so-and-so has. It needs to be what's right for you.
Right.
And that way you'll have peace of mind, and it's the greatest gift you can give your family.
That's terrific. How do you like to be contacted?
You can contact us in many ways. We have the main number to contact us. You want me to give the number?
Actually, you can give it to me, and
Yes.
just for everybody there, scroll down. Everything Sheila has given to me, just in case it changes later. We'll make sure all of that's in the show notes. So if you're on any of the platforms, just scroll down. You'll see all the information that she's provided to me, and we'll put it there.
We have, if you want to learn more about what all we do and some educational videos, which there's quite a few on here.
I imagine.
Is our website. It's www.haimanhogue.com. It's HAIMANHOGUE.com. Then our main office number is 214-618-3160.
Terrific.
And that is to make an appointment at any one of the 4 offices.
That's wonderful. And where are they before I let you go?
Oh,
yeah.
Well, our main office is in Frisco, but it's 1 block into Frisco. It's at Legacy and 121.
Ah, yes.
So 1 block into Frisco.
Yeah.
So we're on the Frisco side. But we have offices in Sherman, Gainesville, and Arlington.
Okay, terrific.
So.
Well, Sheila, I really enjoyed this conversation. Enlightened. You know, at my age, I'm still foolish enough to think that I've got all this time left, but it is important to get the documentation right because my children are young adults and they would definitely want to know my wishes.
Yes.
So thank you so much for sharing that knowledge today.
Again, thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us today on the Growing Your Business podcast. Please see the show notes for links to our sponsors, our social media, and to learn more about today's guest.